What is it, do you think, that is making people so mad at you?
Fake news.
Tim Pool recently went on Bill Maher's podcast, Club Random. That's why I was shocked to read this. These people are so effing stupid, it hurts. Bill Maher is an embarrassment. Imagine any of these people actually listening to the news and the oral arguments and knowing what the real arguments are. Let's watch this clip.
Is the Supreme Court really toying with the idea?
They are.
That a president can, I mean, it was the hypotheticals that were introduced to the court where they went, maybe this week, where a president could assassinate a political rival, not one overseas. We're not talking about assassinating Putin. We're talking about assassinating your Democratic rival or your Republican rival. Could sell secrets. All of these things would be acceptable because a president has this absolute immunity. What happened to no one is above the law?
All you have to do is say, if you're doing it in your official capacity as president, and if you're doing it in your official capacity as president, then you're immune to it. But what's interesting is that they're actually arguing that Joe Biden could have Donald Trump assassinated and he would be immune. I don't think they realize that's what they're saying.
I don't think he should do that, but I would like to put him in a dungeon.
What the actual freak? What the is that Don Lemon? Yeah, it is. Isn't he gay? Side note, doesn't matter. Anyways.
What is it, do you think, that is making people so mad at you?
Fake news.
Well, that's very general, Tim.
It is, but
fake news. What do you mean? I mean, I saw things. Somebody sent me. I don't know why they send me these things. Like the other day, it said. I mean, I'm not even on any of these sites. Facebook, nothing. Instagram, wouldn't know how to get on it. It was Bill Maher's old girlfriends, and it was like just like a cavalcade. Some of which were my old.
I love it. I love it. I think he's leaning into this, kind of old grandpa vibe who just sits down with, his grandchildren and is like, what's going on in school? And then they don't get to answer. And he goes, 'cause back in my day, here's what happened. And then he rants on and then you forget the question,
Girlfriends, and some of which were just completely pulled right out of their ass. So, like, fake news, my point I'm making is it covers a lot of territory.
For sure. It's there's a hyperpolarization happening among the younger generation that's substantially more pronounced than the older generation. And the younger generation is substantially more considering violence than the older generation did. So when you look at the polls, it's really interesting how the polarization expands.
I can see that.
Yeah. So I would say like the bulk of our viewers are probably in their 30s. So we have 18-year-olds too, but they're a smaller percentage, but basically 25 to 54s who watches us.
Right.
Got a lot of people in their 30s. And what ends up happening is, and this is true for people on the left, the right, doesn't matter who you are, someone's going to take something you said, it's going to be pulled out of context.
Of course.
And then it makes people go nuts. So there's so many of these things that are absolutely wild for me to say. I don't have the worst of it. There's other people in media that have it substantially worse than I do. Their Wikipedia pages are just rife with weird, fake nonsense that's made up.
I mean, I just don't feel like anybody in this country can even presume that what people think about them is anywhere near the truth. And if you do think that, you're very naive, and people are just going to want to believe. Somebody told me just the other day that, speaking of girlfriends, this one is funny. This one wasn't in that list, but they could have put it there. But somebody, they were out to dinner with a few people, and this person said that I used to date Ann Coulter.
I've heard that.
Which
I've heard it.
Okay, well, it's not true, and both of us would say that. Now, am I friends with her? Yes, and anyone who doesn't like that can go fuck themselves. I'll be friends with whoever I want. I think I proved that over and over again.
Did you sleep with her? Yes or no? Tim Pool, you better ask the real questions right now.
Including with Donald Trump. I believe in talking to people. But it's not like I've ever, to either one of them, given an inch on what my beliefs are. It's not like I'm taken in. I just think we need to talk to each other. and anyone who
Well-
doesn't want to do that. But you know, this idea that the image that people have of you is anywhere near what you really are. I Yes, that got way worse in the internet age, but I think it was almost always thus.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
just
It
is-
goes both ways too. My fans think they know me based on seeing my face for, well, to be honest, I do like 5 hours of recording a day. But those that watch, they watch several hours a day and they think this shows them everything about me.
right.
And to be honest, the people who watch me are much better informed as to who I am than the people who don't. But they still have this
Sure.
probably, rose-colored glasses view of who I am and what I represent and stuff.
So better. You say rose-colored.
Yeah, they're fans. And
Yeah.
so they...
But sometimes fans, I mean, about a month ago during my monologue, this had never happened in over 600 tapings of Real Time, but during my monologue, I see a guy in the audience with his phone out taking a picture or taking and I stopped the monologue. I mean, I just went, I walked over, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? There's no taking pictures here. And then, the audience laughed and I said, it's so disappointing when even your own fans are assholes, because like it takes a lot to get tickets to Real Time. People write in and
Wow,
and he
really?
was a fan,
Yeah.
and it's just, but like people can be assholes even your own. You can't ever be so purist as to think, well, the good people. I mean, that's one of our big problems, I think, politically. It's like this idea that we're the good people. We know what we know what's good, and anyone who doesn't agree with that, well, they're an existential threat to America.
Is Tim Pool just like sleepy or what? Because he is just not, or is he having a trouble like finding his words or something? Because Bill Maher is just dominating the conversation. I'm waiting for Tim to like say something.
And that happens on both sides.
I agree, but it is a weird position for me to be in. I was talking to some friends before the show, and I was saying, like, I think that if you and I discussed policy solutions for the country, I'd probably be to the left of you. But
In some ways, yeah.
probably most
You
ways.
like Bernie.
I did.
I like Bernie, but I don't
Yeah.
want socialism in America.
You
I
know,
mean, more than what we have. We already have plenty.
but the issue is today. I feel like what defines someone politically is not it's not the policies they want, but it's what they believe to be true.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Taibbi writes about this.
I'm a big fan. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And they call him far right now.
I sure don't agree with everything he says. I mean, I think he's wrong about Russiagate and a lot of other stuff. But first of all, he's just funny. He can say things that make me LOL. I cannot say that about many writers. Just the choice,
Make me LOL. Can't say that about a lot of writers.
like description of something in one or two words is just very often just priceless. But what were we talking about? Why did I bring up Matt Taibbi?
Dude, he must be toasted. Bill Maher must be toasted. Tim hasn't talked barely at all. Every time he does, Bill Maher goes off on some crazy rant. Like, this is grandpa.
Maybe what did he say?
What makes someone liberal,
Oh
conservative?
yes,
is what they think is true.
he writes so well about this and about how the modus operandi of news organizations used to be informing the public, and then it became audience stroking. How can we interpret this thing that just happened in such a way that our audience will give us likes?
Yep.
I like that. I
Because
like you said it that way. I like your point of view because that's what I already think, and I hate them, and so I like.
He's right.
He's right.
Yeah.
No, and it's just.
I worked for ABC. Started ABC New Division did a joint venture in 2014 called Fusion, and I was at Vice, and I moved over there, and then they told me that the new trend was going to be called.
This is literally so garbage. I thought it was going to be good. This is a blind reaction. I thought this was going to be good, and it is garbage. I can't even use this. Okay.